Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Run the Break Podcast, episode 9. I am the wise brother, A.R. Jones, and at the bottom of the pyramid, we have Mr. Henny Bobby Brown himself, B.K. Mack.
What up, though?
At the top right, we have Coach Tibbs Clipboard, the people's champ.
What's good? Shop Biz in the building.
Randy, what's going on, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, summertime is here. Jobslam's in a couple weeks. Finals is up in gear. Shit. What else is going on?
It's a good time.
That's a good time, man. It's a good time. Summertime is coming. You know, Father's Day is coming. My father's birthday is coming up. So just a lot of stuff going around. So it's June, summertime here.
Most definitely. Y'all look a little somber. I wonder why.
Fuck you, Dre. Fuck you.
Oh my God. I have a lot to say about that.
I'm pissed off.
I wonder why.
Because you decided that the Pacers were a better team, which I don't believe. But hey, listen. I will say we got outcoached in this series, and in a lot of ways we beat ourselves.
In a lot of ways you did beat yourselves, but there are ways that you guys got outplayed too.
And fuck them referees too.
Listen,
I still beg to differ in terms of like the scheme, but I'll let you rock with it.
I think the refs games 2 through 4. 2 to 4
was terrible.
Refereeing was really bad. I would say, but I also think that, and I said this on your players have to play through it, right?
Cat wouldn't. He refused to.
Cat doesn't want to play. Cat didn't want to play through it.
Bridges didn't want to play through it.
None of the Knicks want to play through it, and I get it. I get it. Again, from a journalistic point, the Knicks did. You know, there were a lot of missed calls on one end, but then there was a lot of times the referee was just letting them play. Now, the free throw difference wasn't as crazy as people thought it was.
It's not about the free throws. It's the timing and how
it's timing and missed calls.
How those calls get there and the way the momentum be swinging. Like it's not just all right. Like it's close. You see the numbers and you think it's close. When you watch the games, it's all about the timing and placing in terms of how those calls happen.
I absolutely agree with that. But you said this all the time. Players have to play through it. Like
you gotta go through that three straight rounds of them like basically like where the other team is supposed to be playing more physical than you, and the moment you get physical with them, it's like everything is a touch foul. Like at some point, like they was like, you know what, man, just screw it, because at the end of the day, if they're not gonna get the benefit of the doubt, you know, why play through it? And I think in a lot of ways in the series, they acquiesced to it. It was like, you know what, fuck it, like I'm just gonna let it rock or just not give into it. And that was part of it. Another part of it was they were mentally and physically exhausted from beating Boston. And after game 1, it was like, it was a mental battle from there. So, like, as much as, don't get me wrong, the Pacers, they took advantage of the mistakes and they made adjustments that Tibbs wasn't able to make until game 3. But there was a lot of self-inflicted stuff that the team did themselves, which allowed them to be in the 0-2 deficit in the first place. Like, if they made their free throws in game 1, if they had Cat in the fourth quarter alongside with Mitch, in game 2, I think the Knicks go up 2-0, or at least Monday should have been game 7. However game 7 would have went, I would have lived with that. But between games 1, 2, and 4, there were a lot of instances where things were either self-inflicted. The refs also called crucial calls at certain periods of time, which shouldn't have been called, because you would have made those calls in the regular season, not in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then you can also put the fact that, yes, the Pacers took advantage because of the fact that they played more players spot minutes to basically give Tyrese and them, and they were more athletic. Knicks do struggle against more athletic teams, based off their depth. But you can't tell me at least 1 through 8 if you look at the teams on paper, that the Pacers are the better team. Now, the Pacers are a better coach team because Rick Carlisle has been here before with the Pacers.
Mhm.
His third Eastern Conference is the third time he's been to the Eastern Conference Finals with the team in
Yep.
20 years.
Mhm.
2004, last season, and this year. He was also on the staff that was part of the last team that made it to the finals back in 2000. And he's also an NBA champion with the Mavericks. So I can't. So in that regard, it's more the fact that the coaching won them this series more so than the fact that like okay, the sum of their parts got them there. Like I give all the credit. Like I give the credit listen. I give the credit to Tyrese and
What?
Pastor Siakam.
Co-
Wait. Before you say anything coaching wise, you got to remember Tom Thibodeau is a championship coach as well on the staff with them championship Celtics.
But
In the
as
Eastern Conference
a head
Finals.
coach, like don't get me wrong, as a head coach,
Mhm.
he's been to the Eastern Conference Finals twice. This is the
Right.
furthest he's gotten with since he became a head coach.
Right.
However, a lot of those self-inflicted stuff that basically reared its ugly head in the regular season
Mhm.
came to pasture at the wrong time in the playoffs against a team that we should have beaten. And the Pacers took advantage of those mistakes.
So before I get to you, Matt, I ask you this one thing still, then I'll get to Matt. Do you think if the refs just let them play, that the Knicks would beat the Pacers?
No.
No. I don't think that's a micro. I don't think that would have helped. Sure, would have helped some in terms of possessions. Because think about it, is outside of Game 6, if you look at the series, there was no blowouts until Game 6.
Right. Right.
5.
Five was somewhat of a
Five was somewhat of a blowout. But if you look at those early games, like
what they lost by like 9, 10?
Yeah, like every game, every game that the Knicks either won or lost in the series was within single digits. So it was more so by the margins. The Knicks basically, if they cleared up making some free throws in Game 1, if they cleaned up some of the turnovers they had in Game 2, and the foul trouble that Cat had, I ain't gonna front the foul that that got him out early with Siakam when he basically he didn't touch him at all, and Tibbs should have challenged it. That messed up the momentum. So certain self-inflicted things, along with the coaching of Tibbs, was some of the main culprits in terms of why we lost. And of course you can look at the fact that Jalen Brunson dribbled the ball 18 seconds out of the shot clock, but you forget he was being pressured 94 feet by Nembhard. Because if you put them in the half court, they can't necessarily contain him in the half court. They have to basically guard him from jump.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at the series, if you look at the numbers by the series, they couldn't guard Brunson or Cat at all. They had to wait for the mistakes that the Knicks normally would make themselves by either holding the ball for 18 seconds and waiting for a bailout from either Brunson or Cat.
Mm-hmm.
Either them making some boneheaded turnovers with Josh Hart, like sometimes, with the jump passes, which sometimes I do hate.
Or the tap passes, right?
Or the tap passes.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that no one's putting, or the fact that Cat's playing drop, which I hated the entire season when he played drop against players who can shoot
drop coverage. Drop coverage?
Because he can't guard.
You're talking about drop coverage, right?
I'm talking about drop coverage. Like you could he would have been more effective if you put him in a zone.
No, the fuck you wouldn't.
Yes, he would have.
No, he wouldn't.
In the zone where he doesn't.
You see him with Minnesota.
Look.
You see him with Minnesota. He can play. He can play zone.
As much as I hate that Dre is pretty much proving that he was right, I kind of knew he was correct from the very beginning. Because at the end of the day, how Indiana beat the Knicks was they outran the Knicks. Yeah. They tired out the Knicks. The Knicks have been tired. Why? Because they played 2 grueling ass fucking series before they even got to Indiana. Now, let's be clear. A lot of shit was exposed in that Boston Celtics series. You saw how weak Cat was in drop coverage, like you said, in one-on-ones. If he and Jalen Brunson, his defensive liability ass was exposed in that too, because they singled him out. They literally singled him out. He was
They
on
did.
the island by himself. So the one thing that the Knicks were supposed to be levied on in this series, they failed at, and that was their defense, and it showed. Why? Because they ran the same pace as Indiana, which is everything Rick Carlisle want. The one time that they did slow up their pace, which was Game 5, it was aware and it was very evident who the best team was. Now, it was a little too late because why? They dropped Game 1. They fumbled the bag in Game 1. Now, if they never fumbled the bag in Game 1, we would have went to Game 7, and I strongly believe the Knicks would have smacked the Indiana Pacers inside Madison Square Garden for Game 7. But all in all, and we're going to get into Tibbs a little later, but he got out coached and he got stuck in his ways. And everybody knows how stubborn Tom Thibodeau is as far as only playing 6 to 7 to 8 players.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It's evident. And I'm not even going to make it seem like the bench players from the Knicks played bad because they didn't.
They didn't.
There was some games that
Except
they
for
kept.
Cam. Except for Cam.
Yeah, there was some games that the bench kept them in the game. Sometimes it even took the lead.
Yeah.
MVPs of the Knicks for that series was Deuce, was Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah.
Like Mitchell Robinson, look, and I feel like shit for all the other years that I was like, yo, get rid of his fucking tall ass, his injury prone ass. He showed up big in the playoffs this year.
He did.
He showed up real big. Honestly, it's to the point where I felt like he should have started. He should have
They
been started.
they started him too late,
Too
and it
late.
was like that's why I felt like if he started in the Boston series earlier, maybe it doesn't go 6 against Boston because Boston they struggled against him when he was getting extended minutes. So
Can
like
I? I got even something that I feel like it might be a little controversial, but I felt like Cat plays better with the second unit.
he does.
I would have had Cat come off the bench in
You
that
know,
series.
I wouldn't say come off the bench.
I would have had him.
Hold on, I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna flip it. You know the crazy thing about Tibbs is the fact that if he made the adjustment that he made, I would say last year with because Tibbs at least last year made those adjustments. I think this year the reason why he didn't make those adjustments because he felt like he was so close to he was so close to the championship he could taste it. And
Hmm.
because of that, it's like, dang, like I'm so close to it. Let me finally put my imprint on it. And I think it was more so like him getting into his own head. Like last year, he was able to make small changes that basically met what other teams last season. Like the
Hmm.
difference between last year, the Pacers, the series between last year and this year was
Health. Health
that
was a
that
part last year.
health was part of it, but the same token, where he was able to put certain pieces from the bench on the floor and how some of the starters like I remember times where like when before Julius got hurt, where Julius would be the secondary would play with the bench and he would get his with the bench, and then when Jalen gets back in, like all right, it's to Jalen and to whomever else. I just wish that Tibbs kind of used that with Cat in with the second unit, where okay, I'll put a distributing point guard on the floor and let Cat get his as much as he can before I give him a quick rest, like in the latter half of the quarter, and let like whoever is the big replace him and do what they need to do. I think Tibbs forgot how to get back to. I didn't think he forgot. I just think that he got into his own head instead of going to that. What worked last year could have worked this year, but because he was so close to it and he overachieved by beating Boston, he wanted to say, "All right, damn it, I'm gonna show the world that I can finally do it." It reared its ugly head at the worst possible times, and that's why the Pacers took advantage of that. And I think Rick Carlisle is smart enough to kind of bank on the fact that he was going to make those mistakes, and that's why he had those players implemented like a Tony Bradley who played spot minutes, or a Thomas Bryant who made some of the most flukiest threes in Game 6. But it is what it is. Things happen. It's a 50. It's a make or miss league. This series again was lost by the margins for the Knicks, where they could have beaten the Pacers in 6 games actually.
Five.
Had they cleared up, I respect the Pacers enough to give them 6.
No.
as much as I hate Indiana, why?
I'll tell you why. Pascal Siakam's the only consistent player that they had.
He was kind of inconsistent until the latter part of the series.
Nope. He's the only consistent player on that team. Tyrese Haliburton.
He's the best scorer by far.
I'm going to say 3. The Knicks didn't have an answer for.
I'm going to say 3 out of the 6 games. Pascal Siakam did what he needed to do.
Good.
3 out of the 6.
4.
Tyrese Haliburton was only there for 1. I give him 1 game.
No, you can't say he was.
No.
You can't say he was only there for 1.
1 game.
No. Game 4 was the Tyrese staple game. Game 1 was
that was it.
Game 1 was Aaron Nesmith. Games 2, 3, 5, and 6 were Pascal Siakam.
Exactly, right, 1 game. That's what I'm saying. I don't even want to hear nobody jack Tyrese Haliburton after that fucking series.
So just
and they got him over Brunson in rankings. That shit makes me sick.
Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
Just because
that shit makes me
Tyrese
sick.
Haliburton didn't have 30 each game didn't mean he didn't show up.
That's not it. It's
not about the 30 points. It's not about the 30 ball though. It's like who made the most impact in the game to get them to win.
It was Pascal
Siakam. That's why he won the MVP.
Right. And he did. I'm not taking nothing away from it, but we can't say that Tyrese Haliburton didn't show up, but for 2 games, right? Like
1 game.
No. I'm saying Tyrese had a signature game where he put his imprint on it only in 1 game.
He had a signature game, yes, but Matt is saying that he didn't show up, but 1 game.
Look, I'm gonna tell you why. Okay. Wasn't the bill the battle of the point guards, Tyrese Haliburton versus Jalen Brunson, the whole scuttlebutt of the last 2 weeks,
which never really happened.
No, there was like a game that they were going ahead and
ended up becoming a Cat versus Siakam the entire series.
Right. But that's the thing. I can't, like, the whole energy is Tyrese Haliburton a star or a superstar or did the Knicks make a mistake by drafting Obi Toppin over Tyrese Haliburton, which
their teammates
I'm not gonna hold you. Yeah, their teammates not, but I'm not gonna just still a mistake. I still would have chose Tyrese Haliburton.
It is what it is. We're here now.
Regardless of what I'm saying is, I don't feel like that series proved anything about Tyrese Haliburton that we didn't already know. He is a good to great point guard. Is he a superstar? No. Is he the one that you can sit there and go like, all right,
let's pray don't win a championship?
Yeah. He's the one that's going to get us the champ. No. Because I feel like in this next series, SGA is going to cook him.
Alex Caruso's going to have his way with him.
Exactly. That's my point.
Which is fine. I get it. You're making. I get the point that you're making. I do get the point that you're making. But for the Pacers to run, the Pacers don't run without Tyrese Haliburton.
Yeah,
they ran pretty good without him. Like a couple of them damn moments in that playoff. Because in that series, because he was on the bench a good portion of the time.
So you take Tyrese Haliburton off that team, the Pacers are making the Eastern Conference Finals?
Dude, he's making the playoffs.
They're making the playoffs.
I respect Rick Carlisle too much. I would say you put a Tyus Jones as their starting point guard. They'll probably be an out in the playoffs.
No.
I'm not.
But with Tyrese Haliburton,
I'm saying it's a great point guard.
14. I say go in with 14 instead of 15. You take Tyrese Haliburton out, right?
They're still a playoff team.
They're still a playoff team.
You put Nembhard at the 1. They're still scrappy and they're still running.
What's the other point guard that McConnell?
And TJ McConnell off the bench, like
he's a good point guard.
But he's not.
No. But he's a good backup point guard though.
He's not a starter.
No. We're not saying he's starting. Like you could.
He's not
on a team.
He's not on the team. I'm saying if you just take Tyrese Haliburton away,
they're still a playoff team.
There's no point guard to fill his spot outside.
They're not beating Cleveland
on his team.
They're still a playoff team, but they're not beating.
They're second round, but they're not beating Cleveland.
I don't know if they get it. Listen, I give you that. They're probably not beating Cleveland. They probably get to the second round just off GP. But again, the Tyrese Haliburton effect is still real. I'm not saying that. Yeah. Oh my.
But
God,
I'm not saying it wasn't
the greatest. He's the greatest point guard of all time.
No, he's important to know. He makes them. he gives him a different dynamic the same way Steve Nash gave those 05 Suns.
But is he better than Jalen Brunson? No. Is he better than Pascal Siakam? No, he's not.
Well,
We're not doing that.
But he's an important ingredient in that makes that team
exactly.
go.
Yes.
So
I'm not gonna say he's better than Jalen Brunson. I'm not gonna say he's better.
You better not.
But there's two different types of point guards. Two different type of point guards.
Brunson still give you 8 assists, so
again, like
Brunson give you 8 assists with 1,000 turnovers, though.
But no, he doesn't turn over the ball. He just turn over the ball in the playoffs. He doesn't turn. He has a low turnover rate in the regular season. Don't do that.
And that's because he's getting picked up from freaking the inbound.
Don't do that, Dre.
The boy's fighting as soon as he get out of his car.
Every possession is like, yo, the dude get out the car and someone's on his jacket.
Well, whose fault is that the NBA is not guarding Tyrese Haliburton the way they guarding Jalen Brunson?
Because they know he's not going to do much.
But
I won't say all that.
The man who has probably the highest assist to turnover ratio in the NBA, you're not going to pressure him to throw the ball away.
So we're gonna make it seem like Mikal Bridges wasn't locking him up a good portion of that series. That's what we're doing.
How many turnovers? Let's compare the guard to
Answer the question, Jay. Answer the question.
I say he wasn't.
The defense. No. Wait. Dre, the defensive pressure was different for Haliburton than it is Brunson. However,
he had 3 different guards on him.
However, going into the Oklahoma City Thunder series, Brunson faced, he's cooked. He's not getting past Kyle Caruso and Lou Dort.
Then in the event, we'll get to that later when we talk about it. But I'll leave this up in the air for later on. We don't answer it now because we have other stuff to get to before we get to the finals matchup.
Yeah,
I'll come back to the question. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
If for whatever reason Tyrese Haliburton, I'm not saying that the Pacers win the finals. I'm not saying that.
They'll be lucky. They'll be lucky if they make it to 6 games.
They'll be lucky if they make it
5.
Listen, I said the same. I said the same thing last series, but I'm gonna get into it.
Coaching is you see why they lost.
I'm gonna get into it later on. The question is, if Tyrese Haliburton plays well against that 3-headed dragon defenses of the Williams, Dort, and Caruso, if he plays well against them, are we still going to have anything to say about him, or is it just still fuck the Pacers?
No, still fuck the Pacers. I'll give him his props, but still fuck the Pacers.
Bro, it's been fuck the Pacers ever since Tyrese Haliburton was a semen in his father's nutsack. We don't like the Pacers.
He wasn't like the Pacers. It's not even his fault.
Listen, it's still fuck the Pacers since Reggie Miller. Like that. That's never no love lost with that.
Tyrese Haliburton did to himself when he did this stupid shit. Fuck him.
Listen, the best thing to come out of Indiana was the Jacksons, Freddie Gibbs, Tiana Trump. Who else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Mike Epps.
All right. We're going to go to the next topic, which is the WNBA.
You got to relax.
That's the only Trump black niggas can acknowledge.
We're going to the W.
Oh, my God.
And Stu, lead us off with the W.
Nafisa Collier is going to be the MVP this year. And we're going to get a repeat of last year's finals. But the Liberty also did get better, too, because they're 7 deep, bro. They can all score about 20 in their sleep. You saw how they beat the Sun the other day by 50?
Yeah, belt to ass.
Belt to ass.
Sabrina Ionescu was like celebrating like a schoolgirl when they made a challenge call right when they were up 50. They're having fun out there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Lynx, however, they're playing upset. They're playing tight.
As they should.
They're playing mad.
If I'm the Minnesota Lynx, I'd be out for blood. And again, don't get me wrong, we are all Liberty fan here. We're all Liberty fans.
Collier's off for blood.
But we know. Listen, we're all Liberty fans here, but we all know that whistle was real lenient toward the Liberty side in them damn finals. We're gonna take it. But
I ain't see nothing.
Listen, we saw it, but the Lynx are out for blood, and they should be. And now, I'm gonna look at, of course, we'll touch on this. I don't want to stay too long on this topic, but Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. I'm not even going to talk about the little tangle up they did or anything like that. I just want to speak on how the two individuals are actually playing, right?
Caitlin Clark been around black people. You can tell. You can tell. She got a little attitude to her. I like what I'm saying.
Hey, listen, she she's doing what she needs to do, right?
The fact that she threw Angel Reese to the ground is still
She didn't
fucking
really.
hilarious
Hey,
to
I
me.
ain't gonna lie. I looked at it. She didn't really throw her.
She threw her.
She didn't really throw her.
Said, sit the fuck down. And then walked over like, what?
But right now, Caitlin Clark is out for at least 2 weeks, with quad strain, left
Yeah,
quad
that shit
strain. So she'll
sucks.
be
That
out
shit sucks.
about 2 weeks. But her current numbers in in the new season are 19.6 rebounds, 9.3 assists, and 1.3 steals. Right,
Mm-hmm.
that's in 4 regular season games.
Mm-hmm.
In those 4 regular season games, the um, the Fever are 2-2. Right, they beat Chicago, like
They
everybody
smacked
did.
Chicago. They smacked
They
Chicago.
smacked Chicago, and then the Liberty said, hold it." They lost to Atlanta by 1, and then beat Atlanta by 5,
Mm-hmm.
and then lost to the Liberty by 2. Right now, Caitlin Clark is having the season that we thought she was going to have. Right now, let's go to Angel Reese. Angel Reese currently is averaging 10 points, 12 rebounds, almost 3 assists, and about 2 steals. Right,
Mm-hmm.
her field goal percent is terrible. To be fair, she's shooting 31%. Most of her shots are from around the rim, in front of the rim. She's currently not being able to escape those charges of her just stat padding for her own rebounds, and that's not good, right? At all.
Mm-hmm.
She's shooting 70% from the free throw line, so that's pretty good. And she's shooting 33% from the 3-point line, which isn't bad. But 31% and most of your shots are around the rim.
Well, she getting hit. What you gonna do if you ain't getting your call? You expect them to get the call when you go up. Greg, you know what it's like to play in the box, bro. Like if you're expecting to get that hit, and when you don't get that hit or you don't get that call, you get deflated. I can tell you that as a point guard, when I especially knowing that I slash to the basket, if I don't get that call or that contact, I'm throwing up the ball a lot harder. So there pause, and then I'm not getting the basket. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So if I don't get that contact, that's too much strength going up. So, and then on top of that, she gets her own rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
So you get flustered a lot. You got 2, 3 bodies down there holding you. You the only one getting boards, which I don't understand how come she's the only one down there. If you watch a lot of those games, she's typically the only one down there trying to get boards and trying to play cleanup. And that's how her stats get padded. She's the only one actually going for a rebound.
I'm not gonna say she's the only one going for rebounds, but then
That's what I see.
there are times that she is missing wide open. It's a lot more times she's missing wide open, and then as a player, you know this. Why are we playing for fouls? Why are you playing for fouls? Like she's
That's my bread
playing
and butter.
like if you're playing for fouls instead of playing to make the shot, and the referees stop calling it, and
Hmm.
we all know the W is a lot rougher when it comes to calls
Hmm.
than the NBA. If we all
Hmm.
know this, and she knows this because she's been watching basketball for most of her life, why are you still just throwing the ball at the rim? Where's your technique? Especially when Lisa Leslie said she was going to work with you. We talk about Lisa Leslie, one of the greatest
Clean
basketball
up.
players of
Clean up
all
basketball
time,
players. Yeah.
saying, "Hey, I'm going to work with you," and you don't look like you learned anything. Now, again, I want to continue to give her grace. But when I'm watching these games, I'm looking at little things that she's doing, and I'm just like, throw the ball at the square. Throw the ball at the square.
Uh-oh.
Like she
Oh, the
would
ball.
average,
Talk
she
talking
would,
Angel Reese.
she would average 20 points easy if she just threw the ball at the square, bro. throw the ball at the fucking square, bro.
Well, I'm gonna need Lisa Leslie to basically whatever she was doing before. She needs to work more with her, because she was working with Lisa Leslie during the summertime, and when they were doing the
Unrivaled League,
the Unrivaled League, which was probably some of the best basketball played during the men's regular season, because them girls came prepared, and you see why they are prepared this season. Hell, you see how Nafisa Collier's been playing.
MVP.
And she carried that from the Unrivaled League too, because she was eating there too.
Honestly,
Like she was killing.
She just picking up what she left off from the end of last season.
No. She's still tight about that call.
No, I hear you, but I'm just saying, like she was a dog last season too. So honestly, she's just picking up where she left off.
It was hard to put them away, but I would not sleep on the fact that the Aces, once they get their rhythm together, they're going to be some formidable out west.
They're supposed to have been doing that.
I mean, but last year
they lost most of their team.
It was more so. It was more so they lost a lot of their team. They, obviously, they traded away Kelsey, but they got back some great talent. It was more so the fact that like the team that they had grew tired because like you going through all these finals, winning these championships back to back, and all this kind of stuff. It was more so that championship fatigue, and they're trying to basically get a roster that's still hungry, and a lot of those pieces that were there weren't hungry.
Preserve Asia.
She's by far the best player in the league still, but Nafisa Collier's like, hold on for a moment, I'm coming for that MVP. Like, I'm not gonna be denied this year. Like Sabrina and Stewie and everybody else over there in New York, they have that, but nah, like Minnesota got something to talk about this year.
Hey, low key, even though Seattle's 4-4, Seattle has a squad, and
Skylar Diggins, baby, she's back.
Skylar Diggins, one of the best guards in the league.
She's back.
They're sleeping. They sleeping.
Sexy.
They are sleeping. But as we said, as we looked at the ranks, the Lynx are 8-0, and Liberty are 7-0. So it's bound to happen again.
Collision course.
Bound to happen again. The Aces are 4-2, and the Dream are 5-2.
Ooh, shout out to Atlanta. I mean, Brittany Griner's doing a good job since she got there, so that was a good pickup.
I think it was too, and Phoenix isn't doing too bad either. They're 5-3.
Damn, that's without Diana after she retired.
Without Diana, without Brittany.
That's crazy. I respect that.
Without what's her name? We just said her name.
Hey, look, Matt Ishbia. I know you don't watch this show because your sons are pieces of shit. That's how you operate a franchise with the men. You see how the Mercury are doing without their Hall of Fame players? Yeah, that's what you should be doing. The right way. Not, I need this star. I need this. I need that. No. That's why this summer it's a fire sale in Phoenix. Everybody must go. Fuck the trade clause.
Everybody got to go in Phoenix.
Because Devin Booker not gonna stay for Jordan Ott to coach him in his 11th season. Bradley Beal's not like Bradley Beal probably gonna be the only one to stay because he ain't trying to go nowhere and he got his money.
Send his ass back to Washington.
I was just about to say he just got paid. That nigga
send him back to Washington.
He ain't trying to go nowhere. So it's like because from what I'm hearing, and I know we don't want to make this a Knicks show. Like everybody's thinking about KD going to New York. People forget Devin Booker and Leon are like this. So I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't want Devin Booker.
I don't want Devin Booker either. But at the same time, like that's what that's.
As much as I hate him, I would take
y'all. If
we get booked,
if y'all nick and do that damn trade and lose all y'all damn defense,
I would.
I'd be pissed.
I would be livid.
I'd be pissed because he's linked. Giannis is linked. But outside of all that, Phoenix, the Suns, that's how you do it. See how the Mercury are 5-3 without some of their players that got them championships. Mm-hmm. They're building the right way.
Relax.
Take the WNBA model.
You're going to put that shit in the air, and then we get Devin Booker. I'm going to be mad at you.
You like Devin Booker, though.
I like Devin Booker, but I don't like him for the fucking Knicks. Don't do that. I mean, it's like I love Kevin Durant. I
want Book to go to Houston. I ain't going to hold you.
I want Book to go to Miami.
Fuck all that. That dream is dead.
It is. You're right. I ain't lying.
Like Pat made sure that dream was dead because you had
That was
multiple
like-
opportunities
That was
to
like,
get
no.
Donovan Mitchell, and you missed out on Dame. Nah, Pat.
You know what? It's
Pat
fine.
gotta go.
I'm
Gotta
okay
go.
with listen.
Pat
The way
gotta
Dame,
go.
I'm okay with missing out on Dame. I'm cool on that, and get well soon, Dame. But
Could have you could have had Mitch.
Wait,
we could have. Yeah, we could have. They didn't want but we're building.
And they had a better offer than we did. That's the funny part.
But
Miami had the better. They offered Duncan Robinson like off a silver platter to them amongst those picks,
and
and
you know why?
But the Knicks were smart not to take Duncan Robinson. It's a stupid ass contract, which you would have had to flip.
No. The Jazz would have had to get.
The Jazz would have, but the Jazz probably been like,
Jazz could have did something with Duncan Robinson. No,
they could have done something. They would have flipped him too.
hey,
Danny
y'all might get Jordan Clarkson.
Danny Ainge is a master of flippers, bro. Like he's a master flipper.
If we get Jordan Clarkson, I'm not mad at that either because he's good off the bench as well.
We need a bench scorer.
I need a bench scorer.
I'll take a flyer on Clarkson. He's a bench scorer.
He's what y'all want Deuce to turn into.
Not really. Deuce is fine with the way he is. He plays defense and he hits very clutch shots. He is not scared. He's not afraid of the moment.
Yeah,
Deuce is good at what he does.
And whoever they put as coach, assuming they don't make any crazy ass moves,
you know what the fuck they gonna do, bro.
They're not. No, Mike Malone. No, fuck no. That's Tibbs 2.0. What the fuck? It's like, you fired Tibbs to get another one just because he won a championship with the best player in the game. No,
but ain't Budenholzer available too?
Y'all want Mike Budenholzer?
No,
I'm telling you. I feel it. In the air. I feel it in the fucking air, bro.
Just to attract Giannis. Fuck out of here.
I feel it in the air. I'm trying to tell you, bro.
Listen, I'd rather go back to the well and get Jeff Van Gundy before I would go for Mike Budenholzer.
If y'all hire Jeff Van Gundy, I will get my Spreewell jersey from wherever it is, and orange and blue skies will be in this house. If y'all hire Jeff Van Gundy or
I'm
Mark
cool
Jackson.
with that. I like that. I would rather Mark Jackson too. So, but I just have a really sick feeling.
Because you know it might get traded. It's crazy. Because you know it might be traded.
Yep. OG Anunoby.
And I hate it. It's like, we finally got a lockdown wing defender. Give him the money. And pay him.
Didn't y'all just pay him though?
They just paid him last year.
Now we're about to flip him with the salary that he got.
You need to flip Mikal.
They're gonna get rid of him too. They're gonna get rid of him too.
You gotta get rid of one.
You gotta get one. If they do,
I feel like they're gonna get rid of him and Mitch.
No, not after what he did this season.
If you get rid of Mitch,
look at what Hardesty did last season.
No. But he was an actual free agent, and we couldn't sign.
And they could have paid him.
The cap. We had a cap hold.
Y'all been way over the fucking apron, and y'all had to get rid of him anyway. So.
That's the reason why this team was constructed the way it was, because we were at the apron.
Truth be told, we'd have got Hardenstein. I don't think we'd have lost this series. I think we'd have been done in 5.
If the cap hold wasn't the way it was, and we had Hartenstein, we wouldn't have made half the moves we probably made in the offseason.
Yeah, bro, y'all wouldn't have had to trade for Bridges at all.
No. They still made the trade before the free agency.
They made the trade.
They made the trade before free agency, knowing that with the possibility of not being able to re-sign.
No. There was still, from what I know.
Because remember, Dante was still there. Randle was still there.
So they were only thinking about trading Randle at the time to get under the cap. Mm-hmm. They were still having thoughts about retaining Hartenstein. It's because OKC offered past the Knicks bird rights. We could have, if we signed him for the bird rights, he would have stayed, and we wouldn't have had to make the trade for Cat in the first place. Actually, they still would have made that trade, but it would have been it would have helped with the cap, and we would still had the depth of the team. If we still had that,
Hartenstein and Cat, we probably would have been like number 2 or number 1 in the.
Bro, if y'all had
Hartenstein, we would have been in the finals.
I had nothing to say about the New York Knicks.
We would have been in the finals. Tibbs would not have been fired. I guarantee that. Tibbs would not have been fired.
No, at all.
Because Pascal Siakam would have been on smash. He wouldn't have been able to do shit.
The Pacers
He wouldn't have been able to do
wouldn't-
shit.
The Pacers wouldn't be where they're at if y'all
Exactly.
had them. And I'm talking about the overall season because a couple teams can make the league just play completely different. And if the Knicks were able to play the way they wanted to play with Hartenstein and then have Mitch back up Hartenstein and then Cat at the 4.
We would have
Which is
had
what
a
he
double.
wants to play.
Then pressure to two.
We would have had a double big lineup.
Bro,
You see what I'm saying?
That's what pissed me off. They didn't even play Precious.
Pressure should have been on the floor.
He should have
They
been on
didn't
the
even
floor.
play him like
He
that.
should've
That's
been
what
on the
pissed
floor.
me off even further. I'm
Like-
not gonna hold you. Do you see me, Grizz, and Stu? We go back and forth in the shop chat room. Me and Grizz argue with Stu tooth and nail about this cat trade, and I tell him all the time, look, I didn't give a fuck about losing Dante and Julius. The only
It was Dante for me. It was
the
only Dante.
The only thing in free agency that hurt my heart was seeing Hartenstein leaving. That was it.
That's what led to the trade, and we had us giving up more in the first place because
Nah, I got
originally, if they made that Cat for Julius trade after Mikal, we would have had an opportunity to re-sign iHeart and not have to go through that. But because OKC was offering more than the bird rights, put us against the cap. They offered $7 million more. Because originally, so like if they're offering more, we were supposed to offer him what, 65 mil? They offered him 80. So it's 15. It's an extra $15 million.
Can't tell the man not to take the money.
So he took the money. He could have stayed and been like, yo, you know what, man? I can decline this offer even if they're gonna go over the cap and stay with the Knicks. He chose the money to go to OKC. He chose the payout.
No, we're not
he
mad
also
at him.
chose a better team.
The damn sure is because he's about to win a championship. Say that much.
Yeah.
He made the right decision. He
But-
got the money in, he getting the ring.
No. The moment OKC signed him, like they're winning the chip.
Y'all said the same shit. That was all that they needed.
It's like we gave him the chip. We
Him and
gave it to
Caruso,
him.
that was all that they needed.
When they got Caruso and Hartenstein, I'm like,
I knew it was over.
these are pieces that make teams
Dangerous.
top.
Yeah, dangerous.
Like we look at past teams, like them Lakers team, them old Lakers teams, the three-peat Lakers teams, right?
It was mostly
Like,
Kobe and Shaq.
They had others. Their others were elite, and then of course you had Shaq and Kobe, right? The Bulls, Mike, Scotty, the others around them were pretty good, right? The Warriors, the most recent dynasty. You had Steph, Clay, and Dre. But
Sean
the others
Livingston
around you,
they had a strong 7, especially with
Yeah,
Sean
they had a
Livingston
strong-
and David West.
right? Plus more. Not to mention, like I said, I'm not even gonna put KD in there, but they had a strong team. They had a strong team, right?
Yeah.
You look at the Boston Celtics, Batman, Robin, everybody else wins you a championship, and now OKC.
And they're about to break that team up, which is crazy.
Cool. The next.
No, Celtics.
The Celtics about to get broken up.
We knew
because
that
of
before the season started to do.
money. Yeah, money. They can't pay everybody. And
Once they
if
put
I
them
am
200-300 contracts, I
if
knew it was over.
I am them, I am probably. If I'm Giannis, I'm finding a way to get Drew Holiday back.
Yeah.
Find a way to get Drew Holiday back.
I found a way to do that before leaving Milwaukee.
Yo. If you the Knicks, would you take Drew Holiday?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the only move that I see work.
If you do Drew Holiday, you can play the two small guard lineups, with Holiday being on the best on the point guard.
Basically, Eric Snow and
Yeah.
Allen Iverson. That
Right.
dynamic.
Right. And then OG on the actual best player on the team.
So you're trading bridges. I like that move.
Yeah.
I like that move.
That's
Trading
good.
Bridges. Because you know what I'm doing? If I'm them, I'm being like,
It actually helps both teams if you do that, though.
you know what? Give me
It helps both
Give me
teams.
Drew and
And
some
Al
pick,
Horford.
and
Al Horford.
no, they're not gonna take Al Horford. Knicks won't take Al Horford.
Nigga, I
If they
wouldn't.
take Al Horford, they got to get rid of PJ Tucker too, right? So
he going?
PJ Tucker's y'all Udonis Haslem.
The fuck he's not. He going. He retired.
Who?
He retired.
UD? Yeah, we know that.
No, PJ Tucker retired.
Oh,
I don't think that was a real post. I don't think that was a real post.
Yeah, I don't think it was a real post.
He retired.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
Because the media outlets would have said it already. That's a fake post.
Yeah.
Who the hell's really going to talk about PJ Tucker in the media outlets?
Yeah, Shams would have said it.
Shams would have said it.
Yeah, Shams didn't say the shit.
Shams would have said something about the 15th man on some team. Hell, they're even saying that Lonzo Ball is up for a trade.
Lonzo might go to. They're like Lonzo could go to Dallas.
That would be nasty. That backcourt. You already got Cooper Flag. You already got a shooter in Clay, and then you got AD.
Well,
you got Gafford, Lively. What? You got PJ Washington. Nah, that team is filthy. That team is filthy.
Talk about Dallas.
That team is filthy. That team is filthy.
Wait to talk about Dallas when we get like towards the end of the summer and the teams are after free agency and all. Because
thankfully Kyrie only tore his ACL. He'll be back in like January.
Yeah, who's back in January? But if you get a point guard, like you still got Spencer Dinwiddie there. Get another point guard.
Fuck all that. Get them Tyus Jones. They'll be.
That's fine. You can get them Tyus Jones. I'm just saying for what they have now, right? Spencer Dinwiddie can keep you afloat. Flip Spencer Dinwiddie at the deadline, right? And get another piece. Kyrie Irving comes back. Now Dallas is just you still got to worry about Mr. Glass AD, so you don't know, but
you already got two other bigs. You got Gafford and Lively. I'm good. You already got lob threats, and you got Clay and PJ. Dallas is a really good constructed team.
It is. It is. You know what?
Shout out to Nico. Shout out to Nico.
My bad, Clay. I was not familiar with your game.
Bro.
I was not familiar with your game. But we'll definitely get to Dallas down the line, and
there's still some holes for what they did to Luka, though.
They sure are.
No. That's definitely ownership, though. That's definitely ownership.
I'm standing on that. That's fucked up.
But before we get to the NBA Finals, we talked about what happened with the Knicks and why they couldn't get over the hump.
Yeah.
But there's another team that didn't get over the hump that people were saying that, this was his time.
Baby Jordan.
And that is Ann Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves, who, for the second year in a row, got ousted in the Western Conference Finals.
At least they won a couple games. Or a game.
Yeah. So my question to you, Matt.
What up?
What happened?
What with the
Timberwolves? What happened to the Timberwolves?
Julius Randle ain't show up. Plain and simple.
That's one.
You still miss him, Stu? You still miss him?
Who?
You still miss him? You still miss him, Stu?
Huh?
You still miss him?
I miss Dante, bro.
No, I just wanted to make sure. I gotta ask Pete, check on Pete too, because y'all were blazing the shit out of Julius Randle like he was the second coming of fucking Pippen or some shit. It was crazy. But anyways, Julius Randle didn't show up.
Yeah, man, I love you used to love that 2010 until it wasn't.
Boy, I swear, God, boy, y'all was getting on my nerve with that nigga.
He hasn't touched 2010 much of the season anyway. He's like 20 and 6.
But y'all was blazing him in the last series. Don't do that. Yes, look at Julius Randle. I'm regretting that trade still.
Because he was cooking Draymond. I ain't gonna hold you. Draymond deserved to get cooked.
Draymond is 2 years away from retirement. Are we really doing this right now?
No, Draymond was 3 years.
Yes,
past retirement.
Yes, we are. Because he was almost Defensive Player of the Year. So yes.
Right,
it was Evan Mobley's though. It was Evan Mobley's.
It was Evan Mobley's, bro. Draymond was up there with top three in the top three. So
because he got Jimmy and like Jimmy was like helped with that with his coverages.
He's up there before Jimmy because Victor Wembanyama got hurt. So
and on top of that, I mean, Ant was pretty much contained. It was more or less like the rest of the team got to beat us, and they couldn't.
They had bodies.
They had bodies, but
same situation.
But the bodies didn't show up. They didn't show up. They did not show up. That's just the size of it. They did not show up.
I was shocked that Naz Reid not playing the way he was supposed to be playing.
I wasn't.
Because at least with Randle being more interior and Rudy the center third being a lob threat and shit, I really would have thought Like,
You said Rudy is a lob threat. That's what you said.
no, he could be perceived as a lob threat. He's not. We all know Rudy's ass. It's beside the point.
Don't
But I'm
ever
just
say
saying.
that again, Stu. I'm disappointed in you. Rudy Gobert is a fucking lob threat. Are you fucking serious right now?
I'm not. What did I just say?
Should be a goddamn lob
threat, but he's
No.
ass. He's not.
Stu,
He's
Stu,
ass.
I don't
He's
ever want to
ass.
hear you. I don't know what Haitian rum your ass is
I did
drinking.
not say he is a
Don't
lob threat.
ever
I said
say that.
I said because of his stature, he can be perceived as a lob threat.
When? Where? Not ever.
Utah. Like, listen, I'm just going by what people on TV say. We all know he's ass.
Cancel them. Cancel them. Gobert's not a fucking lob threat.
That's beside the point. I'm not beside the point. Naz Reid is a perimeter presence that I felt should have made more of his impact in the series because of his length and size and the fact he can do more. Come on, relax. Come
that was wild. That was crazy.
No, I'm saying it with good. I'm saying it in context. I'm not saying it to be false.
He's not saying it the way Peter. He's not saying it the way Peter said it.
Like
I'm not said girth. That was crazy.
See, now that's crazy.
I was like, you're fucking.
Now that's crazy.
Paige even said, "Wow, pause." Paige even said, "Pause," and she don't even say that.
See what Pete was saying. That's pause. But in terms of that, like I would have thought that the perimeter threats like Dante and Nas would have showed up.
They would need to stop saying that too.
I just wish that Mike Conley was 10 years younger. Because people would forget how Mike Conley was.
He's the only one that showed up.
He's the only one that showed up, but not to the capacity that could definitely put an imprint to what his standards were in his prime. Like, he's a role player on this team. Ant is supposed to be the guy. Ant kind of, you know, as much as I love him and he's baby Jordan to me. He's 88 Jordan to me. He kind of like he faded away in this series. He didn't pull a Harden. He was contained. Like, he's not like he didn't try to basically put an imprint on the game. Alex Caruso, Mason Wallace,
locked him up. Locked him up.
My Haitian from Canada, Lou Dort. Even Chet had some moments where he blocked his shot a few times at the rim.
So
he was contained in the series.
He was contained.
I just said that, Stu. The rest of your team gotta beat us.
But
like,
he was contained.
They had bodies, bro. Pause.
He was contained, but if you look at a couple of those games, he also played a little bit like he was defeated. Like, let's not get it twisted.
He was playing passive, but he wasn't playing like
he's playing passive.
He's hurt.
Like Ant can't take
everybody's hurt.
shots.
He really was hurt. He really was hurt.
Who,
he was hurt. Yeah, he got hurt. I think it was like game 2 or 3 he got hurt.
He was hurt. He was hurt since the Warriors series.
Right, but at the end of the day,
but everybody plays hurt in the playoffs.
We say this all the time, bro. Because every time we hear that somebody was hurt post series, it's a sob story. I don't want to hear this shit. You got on the court, not to play. Bro. Listen.
We made it to the conference finals with Cat with a bad knee, Jalen with a bad ankle. They did not make no excuses at all for their injuries.
No
they still played.
They played.
They played through. They played through it all.
My thing was just Ant Edwards' reaction to just losing and just been like, oh, next year. Like,
why you shocked?
Bruh.
Why you shocked?
It's different for Ant. Like, you can see it in two ways. You can see it as Ant doesn't really care or Ant doesn't grasp the moment, but at the same time, like that could be his way of saying, all right, this season happened. All right, we lost. So now you got to focus on next year.
What is it, Matt?
He knows who he is. He knows who he is. He knows he's the face of the league one. He knows
he's the 88 Jordan for the rest
of
his career.
He's gonna
88 Jordan.
Look, stop. We're not doing this. Look, I like Shea. I like Luka. I like Joker. I like them all. Brunson, Haliburton can eat a dick. I like Tatum. No, I don't. I don't like Tatum. I think Jaylen Brown.
Tatum?
You like Tatum?
No, fuck. I ain't never laughed so hard. Never mind. I shouldn't say that. Anyway,
solid, bro. It's about to kick you off the shoulders now, bro.
I gotta relax. I'm sorry, but we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Anthony Edwards
like Tatum
is him.
Absolutely.
Is him. He's him. So
yes, he is.
I'm not shocked that baby Jordan sat there and said, you know what? I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be back. Because in all realness,
He will be back.
there's not a player on the Western Conference. There's not a player on the Eastern Conference that can do anything with him.
That's true.
But there are teams that can.
The Thunder
There's
There are
did.
teams that can.
I
Thunder
think
just
honestly, Anthony Edwards needs to. There's gonna come a point in time he's gonna look at the glasses like fucking Kevin Garnett did and like Kevin Love did,
This man
and
he's gonna
he's gonna go somewhere else, and that's when it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna be the Lakers. It
He's
might
gonna find
be.
his way to the Lakers, bro. He gonna play with the team.
Why does everybody think like it's just gonna be automatically the Lakers? Because
it's always the Lakers, bro. They always
No. The Lakers always get their star. They always get their generational star.
You don't know that he might want to go to Atlanta. He might want to go back home. You don't know that. Look, Melo wanted to go back home. He did it.
That's New York.
New York was a good team.
New York. I mean, yeah, you're right. That year we were good. And then they got rid of the whole fucking team.
The New York market.
Did we not see what Stoudemire was doing when he was playing? He made Raymond Felton look like
I think he had 30 point games. Was it 8? It was 8 of them, right?
8 straight. It was 8 straight. But it's not even that. It's like the market of New York already drew Melo here. And besides, Lala was going to start her career here, at the career too.
Brooklyn. So
it's like, so if you think Ant's gonna go like, I want to go back to the crib in Atlanta and do what?
Get in trouble?
Like right. That's all Ant gonna do.
Look,
like
I just know it's gonna be outside of Minnesota.
Now if Ant go to Miami, he gonna get himself in crazy trouble because
he ain't gonna get in trouble.
He be outside.
Pat gonna be like,
he gonna pay a lot of these bitches. These goddamn.
Pat gonna be like.
That baby daddy money, he gonna be doing that.
Pat gonna make sure he take care of his kids too.
It's a lot of Havana Cubanos out there.
Pat gonna make sure he take care of his kids.
If Ant goes to a major city,
at the game, all the kids gonna be at every Miami game.
If Ant leave, it's gonna be either LA, Dallas, Miami, New York. You know, any one of them teams, man. Any one of those major market cities.
I'm not gonna hold you.
It don't even have to be the Lakers.
It could be the Clippers. It ain't even got to be the Knicks. It could be the Nets. I ain't going for it.
If he go to Brooklyn,
Ant get himself so much trouble in Brooklyn. He's like, Matt gonna move back home. Like, yo, let's take it to East New York real quick.
Like, forget Tampa. I'm going to Brooklyn. I'm
moving back home.
I'm going back home.
I was unbearable in Florida, yo. My girl couldn't do nothing with me. I was just like, she was mad. I'm like, she's like, it's just a basketball game. You don't understand the look I gave her. It's just a basketball game.
Boy, my
girl gave me that look too.
Not to call you,
boy.
My girl gave me that look too. She's like, yo, it's just a game. I was like,
it wasn't a look she gave me. She just kept saying, yo, you like you. It was pissing me off. You're from New York. Saying like, yo, what's your shit? Yo, leave me alone.
Meanwhile, I was like, yeah.
Like, yo, leave me alone right now. You know how much ass kicking I have to do to make up for me, like, not paying her no attention because I'm watching the nigga. I'm like, yo, you gotta. She's like, I want to watch Raising Cane. I said, look.
Y'all about to watch a lot of it. Y'all about to watch a lot of it. Y'all about to watch a whole bunch.
Yo, we had to be up 15 or 20 for me to turn off the game. I'm like, look.
That's dead ass, bro. The Pacers is personal. Listen, we could have lost to Timbuktu for all I care. The fact that we lost to the Pacers, that's what pisses me off to no end. It's always the ops.
In the same way y'all lost to them last time too. God,
I low-key want to blame her too, because I ain't gonna hold you. We got into at least 2 arguments during those goddamn series. Listen, I'm just saying, like, yo, you're making them lose. Stop talking.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it was like, yo,
like, they gotta understand. Like,
y'all also can't blame me because y'all can't. And here's why y'all can't blame me too. You remember, after every game, I just look. I ain't say nothing bad about them. I ain't say nothing bad about y'all team.
You waited.
I
Dre,
promise you,
wait
Dre.
till the end of the series,
Dre, I
right?
swear to God, we do not give you this energy when Miami does what they do. Like this is the shit
Hey,
that pisses me
listen,
off.
y'all can give.
You
Listen,
start this shit like you actually need nut hugging LeBron fans was not unbearable when they were
oh,
when
see, look,
LeBron was
here
on
you go,
Miami.
here you go.
Like this is shit that be
Because your
pissing me
Knicks
off with
lost,
y'all.
now you gotta bring up LeBron.
Because though,
And now
like
you
all
mad?
that
Hey,
shit is
you still
unnecessary.
mad? You still mad? LeBron didn't come to the
I
Knicks.
hate you,
You still
LeBron
mad?
fans, you Boston fans, and you weak ass Miami Heat fans. Because a lot of y'all niggas wasn't there when Tim Hardaway was there. Ain't none of you niggas was
I
there.
wasn't there with
Oh,
Tim Hardaway there. I was a Knicks fan then.
exactly.
I
This is
was
what I'm
there with
saying.
Shaq. I was there with Shaq got there.
Jump ship.
I was there with Shaq got there. I was
Niggas
there
made
when
me
Wade
sick,
got there,
bro.
and I was still a Knicks fan then.
Nah,
I
Niggas made me
now you
sick,
jump
bro.
ship. Now you said when
I
Shaq
jumped
went there, now you
No,
jump
I
ship.
jumped completely shit.
Yo, you jump ship when they
Melo
won
left.
that title.
When Melo left. When
Nigga
Melo
said,
I
left.
cried.
I jump ship.
I might have been. I think the last time, like the one time that I cried after the 2000s, right? No, it's two times I cried when Jamal Crawford left.
And that was a bad
Uh,
day.
that I ain't look.
That hurt.
That hurt. That hurt my heart. Like I couldn't even look at my jersey anymore.
Y'all deserve
I couldn't
that.
even look at my jersey no more. That was when Crawford left, and it was when Melo left. And when Melo left, I was saying like, "You motherfuckers."
I wish I could find Phil Jackson. I was like, yo, man, I wish Phil
That's when
Jackson
I
only
created.
5 minutes.
That's when I created the "I'm gonna piss on James Dolan's desk" because
Yeah,
what
you did
he's
say
been
that.
doing, what he's been doing to Knicks fans for the last 2 decades is not
I'm
even
just
right.
saying this. When Carmelo gets his jersey retired,
Can't blame him in the
I
Rose.
will come back. Once you do right by Melo, cool.
I think that's happening.
That's happening. It has to happen, bro. Like it has.
That's happening.
It has to happen. Every New York Knick, every Hall of Famer that is a New York Knick,
Gets their jersey
believe,
retired.
if I'm not mistaken, is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's true. They are.
No, did they? John Starks?
Oh,
He's not in the Hall of Fame.
he's not in the Hall of Fame. Oh, John Starks' jersey is up there?
I'm trying to
No,
think.
no, it's
okay.
not up there. It should be, but it's not up there.
That's what I
It
thought.
should be. It's out my nigga.
It should
What?
be hanging in John Starks' jersey should be hanging in the supermarket that they got him from.
Safeway, you ass.
Especially after all
You
them.
know
Especially
why? You know why? Matter of fact, it should be hanging on the same rim where Pat Ewing did that dumbass finger roll. It should be hanging right there.
And they reminded me of that shit during the series.
Boy, they were saying that shit all series about Patrick Ewing and that damn finger roll.
And then I saw him in the crowd, and I was just so upset. I was upset.
I bet you if he the coach, he gonna tell people to dunk it. He's not gonna tell him. He ain't gonna show him how to do finger rolls.
Nah, he ain't coaching no more.
Yeah, but all right. Finals predictions.
Really, are we doing this? We all know who's winning. Come on.
Pretty much.
Like, come on.
All right. So, how many games do you have?
Okay, 3. Okay, 3. Not joking. I got it in 6. I got it in 6.
4 sweep. It ain't even gonna be close. It's not gonna be close. Look, I respect Rick Carlisle, but OKC is young.
They're far the better
deep.
team.
I don't find too many chinks in their game, aside for the stagnant in offense sometimes. But Indiana is known for that too.
Indiana can't play half court, but OKC can.
Exactly. Thank you, Stu.
OKC
in 4.
And that's why I have them in 5. But I won't be surprised if it goes 6 because the Pacers, Haliburton gonna do some crazy shit that's gonna piss me off. And
he's not him, bro. I need y'all to understand that.
Listen. It happened against the Bucks, the Cavs, and
why y'all shocked with look? The Bucks are trash.
No. It's not even the fact that the Bucks are trash. They were gonna lose the series regardless. It was how they lost.
Bro, the Bucks have been trash since even before they won the championship. So
they won the championship.
That's what I'm saying. Look, it was
bullshit.
That was bullshit, and you know it was bullshit. That fucking that championship they should never fucking got. I don't give a fuck with nobody said it was bullshit, and we know it.
I
fucking
mean,
Joseph.
OKC 5.
The Suns played like shit. Chris Paul was hurt. Yeah, cool, but Devin Booker didn't show up.
No, they should have never got past Brooklyn. You know it. I don't want to hear that shit.
Oh, yeah, probably not. But Kevin Durant should have worn size 9.
Probably.
Kevin
Drake,
Durant.
did you watch the same series that I watched?
Yes.
Kevin Durant pretty much carried that whole series by himself.
I'm sorry. Yes, absolutely. Kevin Durant willed that team on. You know why? Because James Harden like he always does.
He had a hamstring.
Okay.
Oh shit! I'm tired of that injury issue with James Harden.
It was great.
We're not doing that with grade 3. Listen, he was still out there playing.
Matt, I threw all the stats at you.
Nah.
We had this argument. Me and you had this argument, right? Despite him being hurt,
he's still on booty.
Was still gonna be ass.
I don't deny that. I don't.
Like
all I needed was 12 assists from this motherfucker. That's it.
He couldn't even do that. He don't do that. He can't even do that.
You played one game, motherfucker. The least you could do is get you know what?
Like you thought Ben Simmons disappearing was bad.
James Harden
turns into Houdini.
Do not bring that motherfucker up. Please don't. We're not doing
Ben Simmons was playing good.
Ben Simmons.
He was playing high on him.
He was though.
Fuck him.
But Denver packed him up crazy in 7.
Fucking bastard. Fuck him.
Oh, they go to hold on. They go your people on AEW. They go your people on AEW, Matt. The hurt niggas.
Man, look, I ain't doing this shit, man. You watching that shit.
Anyway. I'm gonna say Pacers in 6. Y'all gonna be mad. Listen.
Nigga.
I'm keeping the same. Y'all leaving and I'm keeping the same energy. Am I not keeping the same energy?
What? How the fuck do you live in New York with this shit, bro? Like, sick of him.
Wait, so I'm supposed to. You know what? Wait, tell me. I'm supposed to say the Western Conference is going to beat the Eastern Conference. That's what I'm supposed to say, right?
Yes, but hey, this is your prediction. I'll let you rock with it.
Listen, I'm
gonna let you rock with it.
Hey, I'll let y'all rock. Listen, I'll let y'all rock on y'all Knicks picks. And then y'all got mad at me for picking the Pacers in 6. And
it's wild. It's wild.
You got the Pacers winning the championship, man.
Bro, you really Dave Meltzer, bro.
Well,
that's what you're doing.
That's
what you're doing.
The day my ops win another championship, son.
Man, disrespected. He called me that man, Dave Meltzer. I hate him.
In the end, of OKC and I don't even know what you're doing.
All right. No, this is a razzle dazzle pick. This is honestly a pick for argument's sake, right?
Told you about that razzle dazzle shit.
And the razzle dazzle worked, right? Anyway, as I'm saying, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, as great as he is still a free throw merchant. And if in the finals, if they just let him play, how is Shai going to react? That's what we have to see.
Oh no,
he's gonna break a record.
He gonna kill. He gonna score 50.
He's gonna break a record.
He's about to break a record.
Look, Shai had to deal with Joker. Shai had to deal with. He didn't deal much with the Grizzlies, but he had to deal with Joker.
He didn't deal with
Anthony Edwards and Mike and certain people guarding from Minnesota. You think Andrew Nimhard gonna guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? You didn't tell me Aaron Neesmith gonna stay in front of the MVP. He's gonna score 50 in game 1 off free throws alone.
I'm trying to tell you this.
He's going to lie.
That nigga gonna break a record.
Now, what happens if he doesn't? What happens?
It's only gonna happen for a game. It's only gonna happen for a game.
What happens if they calm him down for?
John,
if the series goes 6, right? If the series goes 6, so the series even goes 5, right? And OKC gentlemen sweeps them, right? And we look at the numbers and we see what they did to him on defense. Are we gonna still be like, damn, Shai did all that? Or we're gonna be like, Are we gonna just be like, I don't know. I'm sure y'all gonna be like, yeah, Shai dogged him out, but the numbers are gonna look crazy.
I'm willing to bet he still shoots over 47% in this series.
An
average over 30 against that Pacer defense.
30 on how many shots?
38.
30 on how many shots? I'd say 25, 26.
That efficiency is nasty, but I get it.
But he might go to the line more times than not too to kind of circumvent that.
But if he doesn't go to the line as much as he does, do you think he's still able to fight through that?
Yes.
Okay.
Listen. Brunson struggled because he's 6'1". Jay is 6'6".
Oh yeah. Brunson was jump, and they were telling him to fight.
The league is lucky that Jalen Brunson is only 6'1". Like
the league is lucky. Jalen Brunson is 6'1". Kyrie Irving is
6'2".
Really?
You're lucky. Allen Iverson was
5'11", bare feet.
Imagine those guys being 6'6".
Like, come on now. Like, come on. What are we really talking about here? Like,
imagine Allen Iverson being the same height as Kobe Bryant or Vince Carter or Ray Allen.
Game over with that kind of speed and that kind of athleticism and the way he plays, bro. Like what? Like, come on now.
But in terms of the finals, right? The easy pick is to say OKC, and I get it.
They have more. It is
the right pick. It is
the
absolute right pick. But something is telling me that the series is not going to be as easy as people are saying it is. And if it is, cool. I'm okay with being wrong. Y'all know I'm the first one to step up. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll step up. I ain't gonna make no excuses about it, right? I don't care about officiating. I don't care about it. The team has to win. The team has to lose. If my team loses, cool. Unless somebody physically comes on the court and start punching people in the leg and giving them Charlie horses, then cool. I'm gonna complain, right? Other than that, right. Other than that, I understand that the players have to play. Now, whatever they have to play through, yeah, I might complain a little bit. I might bitch about that. But overall in the series, the other team has to take advantage of the mistakes. They have to take advantage of the calls. And that's a sign of a good team as well. If you're able to take advantage of the things that are put in front of you, which I believe OKC can do, just like the Pacers did to the Knicks, then yeah, the series is going to be done quick. But the consistency of Chet, right? The consistency of their others will be in question, just like the consistency of the others on Indiana will be questioned.
I'll push back on that.
Okay, go.
No. I'll push back on that.
Okay.
Like,
and I'm not talking about.
I'm not even talking about the starters, bro. Like, when you look at the different, because, like Miles Turner said in the finals presser, he said the fact that those two teams, the way they're constructed, are basically similar in terms of how they draft, in terms of how they sign people, right? From how OKC has done it, especially with holding their picks, the way they've done it over the years, each one of their players, if you look at their bench, from Cason Wallace to Alex Caruso to the other J-Dub, Jalen Williams, and you look at Kenrich Williams, you look at other players on their bench, and you match them to the Pacers bench. And that also includes Isaiah Hartenstein as well.
Yep.
And you see how they play. Off rip, based off the metrics and the numbers that you see this postseason, not this regular season, this postseason, they still are the better team against the Indiana Pacers. Now, I understand that you're pushing on the fact that, playing devil's advocate, if the Pacers would win. For the Pacers to win, they only need to do one thing for the Pacers to win in order for them to win. That means Tyrese Haliburton has to score more than 25 points a game in every game of this playoff series for them to win an NBA championship. If he has 18 one games, 17 one games in the third, and they're pressuring him where he cannot be effective offensively for himself to score, it's going to be a short series. Now, I understand the fact that because of what the Pacers have done to get to this point, but Pacers may say, "Oh, we match well with them," but the Thunder still have more, and they play more.
They do.
And they can match that pace.
See, they say they have more bodies against the Knicks because the Knicks, obviously, from their bench, you can make that argument. But for the Thunder, you cannot because they match it, and not only match it, they can exceed it because of the fact that they're also athletic. They're also just as young, younger, faster, and they shoot the three ball better, and they're more skilled than the Pacers bench. Now,
and they can out rebound them.
That's another thing. The Indiana Pacers do not rebound the ball well. They're not a rebounding team.
Indiana's not a good rebounding team because they rather play small and run versus trying to.
And you're going to get destroyed that way.
But even then, they're not a great rebounding team to begin with. Even with their scheme, they're still not a good rebounding team because Miles Turner is 7'1" and he's averaging 7 rebounds a game. Pascal Siakam is 6'9" and he's giving you 6.5 to 7 rebounds a game. Most of those rebounds are coming from Tyrese Haliburton, who's your 6'4" point guard. It's not going to cut it against Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein, who averages a double-double in their sleep. And Chet is skinnier than both their big men, and they have more bigs. They have more bigs than the Pacers do.
Off the bench, he does that. Let's just throw that out there.
Hey, look at that Casey Wallace. He's going to dog walk CJ McConnell.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. That the only superpower Indiana had was their depth. OKC matches that plus more. So it's like they're going to get swept. I'm not giving it shit. I give him one if Rick Carlisle can pull something out his ass and coach something. But other than that, no.
But for them to win, close. For them to make it competitive, it has to be like everyone's putting Haliburton in terms of he's this, he's that, he's this. Like for them to prove it, for him to prove the superstar title, I don't want you to give me Steve Nash by giving me 19 and 17. I need you to give me 30 and 16. Or 35 or something, because that is what's going to take the Pacers from, we just beat these teams by by schemes, not because we're the better team. We beat them by our scheme. The Thunder have your scheme, and it's better for them to win. Tyrese has to prove he is a top tier superstar.
No, he's not.
And
I don't think he's a top tier superstar.
No. I'm just saying on the sake of this series, for them to prove like the ESPNs of the world, the Fox News, the Fox Sports of the world, FSN, those guys, the media, the sports media, he has to do that on this stage. You made it to the finals now, doing what you did in the Eastern Conference. It's great. But now you're going against an Oklahoma City Thunder team that has everything in abundance. Plus, your opposition at your position not only is taller than you, stronger than you, better than you, he's going to cook you because they're going to hunt you on defense. And the Oklahoma City Thunder are a much better defensive team than the Indiana Pacers are.
They're better defensive team than the Knicks.
So because of their versatility at every position.
I know.
Knicks didn't have that, which was going to be their undoing even if we made it to the finals. I would have been happy. Listen, if we made it to the finals, I would have been happy if we got clapped knowing that they're the better team because they are.
We're mad that we lost to Indiana because honestly, to this day,
they're not the better team. We're the better team.
Better team than Indiana. I know that.
But outside of that,
paper, the Knicks lost it on their own, bro. It wasn't because Indiana was better.
No. I'll split it down the middle with that, but. It was more so coaching for Indiana. Again, they won by scheme, which has a lot to do with coaching. I gotta give Carlisle that credit.
Yeah.
But for the Pacers to put a dent in this series,
I hate
it has to be Tyrese Haliburton. We all know Pascal Siakam can score 35 or 40 at any given point in the series.
Not in this one.
He's gonna have trouble in this one. But Tyrese Haliburton has to basically take over. He has to go away from that scheme where it's basically him playing a certain way that got him to the finals. He has to basically play half-court offense, which the Pacers are not good at. Oklahoma City, on the other hand, they're going to pick you apart in every possession because Shea knows how to get to the elbow. You're not going to shoot threes unless you can see guys open, and they run off makes and misses just as good as the Pacers do. Now, as much as you're giving an argument for them to kind of win this series, because of what OKC have an abundance in, it's the very reason why they're not. And on top of that, even when the season's over, they still have draft access to get more.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I know, like I said,
like the rich keep getting richer. Like they can do this going into the next decade.
They can get rid of, which they probably end up will. They probably get rid of a couple of their pieces just because they can't pay everybody.
Just for the fuck of it.
Like your draft. Like, imagine they would have got the first pick this year.
Bro, if they had Cooper Flag just by giving up a pick, like, yo, the rich keep getting richer.
Imagine they would have got Cooper Flag this year.
To be honest, they probably should have won the draft.
Or Ace Bailey. Like,
they probably should have won it, but because of the fact that Dallas pulled that bullshit off, it's like, you know what, Dallas, let's give you Cooper. Like, because like OKC, because think about it is, if the way it looked like the Sixers were going to win that draft pick, which would have went to OKC,
which would have been nasty, bro.
Exactly, which is why
I'd have been like,
OKC could do this shit for the next 10 years. They have picks. They have picks going into the next decade.
Pick swap.
Some bullshit.
Which is crazy.
They pretty much did the Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, and James Harden shit literally like a decade later.
And now and this is the one that's going to win it. And he can still do it for another decade.
There's no LeBron in their way this time.
I say this right. Somebody said this on ESPN, and I'm gonna echo it. The Big Three era, the era of having three superstars.
Oh, that's dead.
It's done. You need your 2 stars or 1.5 stars, and you need your others. There's no way around it. You can't win with just 3 people. Like, I'll be surprised if a team like the Phoenix Suns stay how they are currently constructed going into next season.
Blow that shit up.
I would be surprised. I'd even be surprised, even though Sacramento Kings just made on them trades and end up getting the Chicago Bulls remix. I'd be surprised if one of them doesn't get flipped over the summer too.
I'd rebuild that shit though.
Right? I'd be surprised, but we're gonna see in the finals 2 teams that are built from like grit and grind and the ground up, and it starts with their point guards. As you said, in order for this series to be something, Tyrese Haliburton has to be a star this season. He has to be a star this season.
He has to show that he's him, not him in like certain spotty moments. He has to be him.
He has to be him, but I also think, not taking the pressure off of Haliburton, because Tyrese Haliburton has to do it. But the others have to be consistent. They got away with it in New York. They got away with it playing against New York.
Yeah, they was
New York was fatigued mentally, physically, like y'all said. Also, a lot of the calls went their way in the games 2 through 4. But when everybody played and nothing was taken out of context, the Pacers looked good. Not to say the Knicks didn't, but the Pacers as a whole, as a unit, looked better. Not saying they were better, come all the way. But as you said, Stu, they were coached better.
They won by the margins, which is what got them there. So I wouldn't say like, what I mean by margins, people are gonna probably interpret that as basically doing the bare minimum. But by doing that is what got them there in the first place. Like, you have to, like, by the margins, you have to find the smallest or minute things in order to get where you need to go. And the Pacers did that. And that's what got them, and that's why they are a finalist for the Eastern Conference. Now, will that lead them to basically shock the world and become NBA champions off of that? Maybe, but the evidence is just too strong on the Thunder side to suggest otherwise.
I agree with that. Don't get me wrong. I'm adding Razzle Dazzle to the pick, but I'm also.
No, I get it.
You know my nerve with this Razzle Dazzle shit, especially when you're talking about the Pacers.
No, if it was any other team but the Pacers, it would have been. And I get it. I get it, right? But we have to take our Knicks hats off and look at this as right. You have to take your New York off and look at it straight for the series for what it was. As Stu just said, Stu just eloquently said. Like I said, in order for something for this to happen, Tyrese has to do it.
Tyrese has to score 30 in every game for them to have a chance.
In order for the Pacers to
we know that's not happening. Bro.
In order for it to and if that doesn't happen, in order for this to actually be something, the Oklahoma City Thunder will have to turn into the Boston Celtics.
Bro.
And what I mean by that is if they get three happy and start missing a shit ton of threes, and they just keep shooting them.
Thankfully, they're not.
If they do that,
I'll be like,
bro,
Indiana will take advantage of that.
They play ethical basketball, which is why I love watching them play.
In my opinion, they're going to need at least 3 or 4 of their starters to even make this a series.
It's gonna be tough for Siakam. It's gonna be tough for Siakam and Turner to be effective because they don't play drop coverage.
But that's what I'm saying. Not even
they play straight. They play straight up.
Going to have a good game. At least I give him one game of the series. But
Aaron Nesmith is going to have to be an X.
Have to step up. And Mathurin.
Aaron Nesmith too is my concern because of him being hurt in the last series. But if you step on the floor, you got to play. You said what?
What did you say?
I say if you're on the floor in the playoffs, you're hurt. Listen, everybody was hurt in the playoffs. Everybody's hurt in the playoffs. No one's 100% healthy in the playoffs.
But like I said, if you're on the floor, you got to play. You got to play.
But
that is a wrap for episode 9 of Run the Break podcast. Follow Run the Break on all social media platforms. Also follow the Your Sports Show, the Your Sports Show Network on all social media platforms. You can find Mr. Henny Bobby Brown at every Brooklyn Baby _baby, I believe, or BK Matt. Brooklyn Baby on Twitter and BK Matt. On Instagram. You find Stu at his tagline _ his name is King or his name is King on IG and Twitter. Yeah. You find myself, the Wise Brother, at the Wise Brother on pretty much everything. OnlyFans coming soon. Yeah. What?
Crazy. Gotta relax.
Real quick housekeeping stuff.
Jobslam 5.
Jobslam 5, A Different World. Coming to Brooklyn, June 21st. Get your tickets.
2 weeks away already.
2 weeks away. 2 weeks
Time
away.
is flying.
It sure enough is. Shit. We will be hosting the most epic. Well, we're not gonna say the most epic, but we will be hosting the pre-show Shop Business, and it will be a very, very, very interesting pre-show. Due to the fact that when 2 of the members of Shop Business will be on opposite ends of the corner. This particular Jobslam.
That's right. That's crazy, bro.
Right.
Like,
but that will be spoken about soon. I'll say
he has a leather suit on.
I will say that. Just know that Prolific plans on burning down the circus, and shooting fire to the heavens, bringing all of it down.
Oh no, y'all going out with a bang this year.
So he has a leather suit on.
If this is what I think it's gonna be,
that's heel.
So we'll go out with a bang completely. But I've already said too much.
Yeah.
But for Mr. Henny Bobby Brown, aka BK Nat, for Coach Tibbs, keyboard, aka the People's Champ, Randy. Also follow Backstage Brawl.
Yeah, we back on Sunday. We back on Sunday. We took a break this week.
Every Sunday, 3 p.m., 3:30 p.m.
Yeah. We back this Sunday. We going over Money in the Bank.
Go over Money in the Bank.
That's this Saturday, isn't
it?
Yeah. Money in the Bank is Saturday. Yep.
Money in the Bank is Saturday. So that shit creeped up like.
And Worlds Collide, right? That's the same.
And Worlds Collide.
Same day, bro.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
To get your wrestling fix.
Yes, sir.
Brawl Do your thing. But for Mr. Henny, Bobby Brown, BK Matt, for the Coach Tibbs clipboard, as if I don't see it all the time.
Yes, sir, man.
It is your boy, the wise brother A.R. Jones, signing out and keep running that break.
Justice for Tibbs.